Well, first of all, hi everybody. I just wanted to confirm that you guys can hear me talking. So if you guys can hear me, please confirm it in the text. Perfect. Okay. Seems like everyone is on and everyone is well connected. So I'll start by presenting myself. So I'm Fenia, your presenter today. I'm a web marketer. I've been doing online marketing and web analytics for more than 10 years now in Canada, here in Montreal. I mainly focus on online optimization, online marketing, web analytics for small, medium enterprises. I've been coaching, training, I've been doing stuff for people, as I said, for more than 10 years. I'm part of the BDC network of consultants. The BDC is the Bank of Development of Canada. It's a bank that only does business with entrepreneurs and businesses. So I help the bank's clients actually have a better online presence. And I'll be with you guys for a couple of lessons. The first one is starting today. It's about online marketing and web analytics. And we'll go through many different things. Some of the information that you guys will see today is pretty technical, and some of it is pretty normal. So if you guys have any questions, or if you want me to repeat something, or if you want me to explain a little bit more the point that I just mentioned, feel free to tell me or raise your hand, and then I'll make sure that I address the point. So as I said, the overall training has multiple things that we'll cover over a couple of weeks. But today we'll start with the basics, and then we'll dig into web analytics because it's the glue that sticks it all together. It's what allows you to understand exactly what's working and what's not working, what type of initiatives have more visibility for you, or actually attract more what we call qualified visitors, not just curious visitors, because at the end of the day what you guys want is really attracting qualified visitors and converting them into business opportunities or customers. As I said, I start with the presentation, the PowerPoint that you guys should see on the screen. I'm sharing my screen with you guys. So I'll try to go slowly because sometimes there are some lags online. So the first thing, when we talk about digital marketing, a lot of people actually do online marketing initiatives, and they do many different things. Today we try to work in what we call integrated marketing, which means working in all silos together instead of just having one silo separately. But when we say digital marketing, we're talking about many different types of activities. For example, we can do email marketing, which is one of the oldest ways to do online marketing and still one of the most efficient ones. We'll see that later. PPC stands for pay-per-click, which means you pay every time someone clicks on your ad, and that's what we call search engine marketing, or SEM as well. So that's also one of the biggest channels online. That's how the big search engines such as Google make most of their money today. SEO is similar to PPC, but instead of buying keyword and paying every time someone clicks on them, you would be optimizing your content, your website, your online presence to have free traffic from Google from natural search. Social media marketing, I guess you guys are all familiar with social networks like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and all those big social networks. Most of them offer online marketing services. For example, on Facebook, you can promote your page, promote your posts, or send traffic to your website, and many other types of online marketing tactics that they have. And of course, what we call online presence. We're talking about having a website, having a presence on forums, having a blog, for example, doing online advertisement. So that's also one of the ways to do online marketing. It's not only by purchasing or paying or having a budget to do marketing. Sometimes it goes through what we call content marketing, which means creating quality content and sharing it online, and that helps a lot as well. There are some other things that are not on this slide. We're not going to cover today anyways, but we'll talk about them in the upcoming weeks things like affiliate marketing, for example, or co-marketing. We'll come back to those later. By the way, if I speak too fast or if you guys cannot really understand what I'm saying, please feel free to interrupt or ask your questions. So digital marketing is not really different from offline marketing or traditional marketing, except for a couple of facts. So mainly when we do marketing, we need to understand who are we talking to, who are the main stakeholders, which means customers, potential and existing, partners, investors, employees. So a lot of people are involved in digital marketing. And why do we do digital marketing? In which cases do we need to do it? So it's either to increase brand awareness or visibility, to increase the number of leads, opportunities, to generate customers, to do customer care, to do promotions, to do e-commerce, for example, or just to increase the website traffic if you guys have a content website, for example. Why do we do digital marketing? One of the main differences between offline and online marketing is the fact that the visitors are empowered. They can actually interact with you, with your brand, with your products, with your content, and it's really a revolution in terms of how we actually treat our customers or our audience, because we cannot just push information to them. Now it goes both ways, so we can have a conversation with people, which is really more efficient when we know how to do this. The other thing is that we can reach people directly. We can target them using multiple tools because, as you guys know already, we're all tracked everywhere we go online. We're tracked by Google, by Facebook, by multiple websites, so it's easier today to target people. It's also more affordable because when you do online marketing, you can start with a really small budget. You don't have to spend millions on TV advertising. You really start with your own budget and then see from there, see if it works. See if there's return on investment actually, because you're able to measure everything down to the single click, and then if you see that you have return on investment, you can then decide to increase your budget or otherwise. It depends on what you see and the type of insights you get from your analytics. So we have a couple of slides here talking about what's going on online mainly. These are facts that you can find by your own. I can send you these a little bit later, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. But just to say that so many things happening online. For example, as we speak, we have actually every minute we have 30 hours of videos that are uploaded. 1.3 million video views on YouTube, for example. This is pretty huge. So on Google, the same, 6 million Facebook views on Facebook. So it's really a lot of things going on, and it's still growing. Depending on the territory that you guys are targeting, these numbers could be different. But what this tells us is that the internet is really the future of communications. It's already the present, actually. But the future cannot be done without having an online presence, a strong online presence, what I'm saying. So if we keep looking at specific numbers, the growth is really slowing down in Western countries, North America and Europe mainly, because we've reached like the peak of growth. But we're still growing on a global scale, especially in countries such as India, Indonesia, Nigeria, also Brazil. So those countries are still growing fast. The other thing that's really growing is the share of mobile and smartphone subscribers. As you guys know, almost all people between 20 and 40 years old today have a smartphone or a tablet or something like that, and a lot of traffic is going through those devices. Tablets, I put them almost on the same category of smartphones. So mobile data traffic is really fastly growing. We're talking about 80% increase every year. it's really a strong driver. It's something that we need to consider from going on. The age is something pretty sensitive. It depends really on the field that you guys are targeting. Most people who are always connected are a little bit younger. We're not talking about teenagers here, even if all teenagers are connected, but we have like between 20 and 35 years old. We have almost 30–40% of the traffic. The customers, actually, we can reach them through many different channels. So as I said before, paid search, mobile, email, display ads, natural search. What we want is really to get them to our website, to our content. But most people actually are not convinced from the first time they see or they are actually interacting with the brand. They need multiple touch points. So people would come. I have a question here from Lorraine. I'll get back to it in a couple of seconds. So people would come from a specific touch point and then come back using another entry point, and then that's how they get used to the brand, and then they start interacting and maybe become customers. Natural search is actually the results in Google or Yahoo or Bing or any other search engine that are not purchased, so they are natural. I'll show you an example. It's really better than any theory. So I'll just open Google and I'll show you what I mean by natural on paid search. So you guys should see my Google screen here. If I do a search, for example, car insurance, as you can see here, we have a couple of results in different formats. So the first 3 results, they have this small ad orange sign on the left side. These are ads, so if I click on these, the advertiser will pay for those. The natural search results starts here. So if I click here, this is a natural search result. So if I click on it, no one is paying, it's natural. So what you guys need to do to make sure to show up higher in the search engine results for natural searches is what we call SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. So if I click there, no one paid here, while if I click on these top links, the advertiser will pay. So if I click here on Belair Direct, it means that this company just paid for the click. Too bad for them, but it's part of the game. So not all the clicks are people interested in buying your products, and that's something that we need to understand. And that's something that we can measure by online, like Google Analytics or any web analytics tool. Was that clear, Lorraine? Perfect. So I'll come back to my So what makes online marketing work? It's really because we can use a mix of different tactics and channels and then generate traffic from those different various sources to a specific landing page or website, trying to convert those visitors into either sales or customers or opportunities or followers, depending on what we need to achieve or what we want to achieve. Traditionally, we used to do TV, radio, print ads, product placement, events, so what we call offline marketing. It helps a lot. Offline marketing is not dead, so it's still there. We still need to do it depending on what type of budget or presence we have. It helps mainly for the awareness phase, because if you look at these signs on top of the table there, your customers go through different stages before they become clients. First stage is awareness, the second is consideration, the third is initial purchase, fourth is onboarding, fifth is cross and upsell, and sixth is retention and win back. Which means that people, the first time they hear about you, they never heard about something or a specific brand. Usually they don't tend to buy right away. They need to compare things, they need to understand, they need to do some searches, they need to see who are the competitors, what is the pricing strategy? Is that product exactly the same than the one like presented by the competition? Before they start actually really thinking about purchasing from you or doing business with you. So the awareness phase is really about saying, hi, we exist, we are here, come take a look to our products and services. Consideration is when someone knows you already and starts evaluating your products, considering you as an option compared to your competitors. That leads to the first initial purchase. It could be either a purchase or interaction. We call it conversion in the online world. So the offline helps really in awareness and consideration, but from there we can, for consideration, online is more efficient because we can do it with the web ads, the blog, the search, the website, the mobile presence, and the email marketing, trying to drive qualified traffic and then to convert it into initial purchases. Then, when someone buys from us, we call it a loyal customer when they keep buying back. So if we have repeat business with people, and then if we are able to cross-sell or sell different services to them, and if actually they become loyal, and sometimes they even become ambassadors of the brand, so they talk about us, they refer people, they mention us on social networks, and that's the ultimate goal. And that's also done through online marketing activities. So as you see, the first phase is really about attracting people. The second is about engaging them and persuade them. The third is really about growing and retaining people. So using our current customers to attract more people and to do more business with these current customers as well. So as I said, the customer engagement goes through different stages. The first one is awareness, the second is trial or consideration, the third is purchase, the fourth is repeat business or repeat purchase, the fifth is evangelist, is really someone who's so happy with our products or services that he becomes an ambassador of the brand, as I said, and talks about us to his friends or to his circle of influence, I would say. If we think about digital marketing as a whole, we have many different ways to approach it. So as I said in the beginning, we can either pay to have more visibility. We can pay Google or Facebook or any display marketing provider to have more visibility on their networks. So that's what we call paid presence. Could be either we pay every time we're published through banners, or we pay every time someone clicks on our link, or we pay a blogger, for example, to publish our article, which is called guest blogging or contributing. So we pay every time we want more visibility. That's the paid silo. What we call owned is everything that we can control, which means we can control our website, our blog, our social media pages, which means that our YouTube channel is ours. We can actually have LinkedIn pages. We can have a Facebook page. So everything, every message that we control, that we can edit, that's what we own. What is earned compared to what is owned is still on the social media sphere, but still we cannot really control it. So what we earn is what people tell about us, what people tell about our competition. We're talking about Facebook shares, retweets, blog posts that talk about us, news coverage, forum discussions. So these are discussions around our products and services or around our brand or our competitors that we cannot really control, but we can participate in those conversations, which is really highly recommended. So it's not only about pushing information to our audience, it's about listening to the audience as well, to be able to interact with people, and that's what makes some marketers really efficient, I would say, in the way they communicate with their audience. So this leads us to the strategy framework. So what we've seen so far is really a a very high-level introduction to online marketing. As I said, we will dig deeper in each of those silos as we go along these upcoming weeks. Today is really the high level, as I said, so we'll go from there to the strategy framework. But before we see this new chapter, are there any questions? I'll give you a couple of seconds to ask questions by text. Okay, so I guess there are no questions. Thanks for your patience. So let's go to the strategy framework then. What we want to do before we start doing online marketing is really step back and think about what we want to achieve. That's why we need to have a strategic planning before we really start doing things, because a lot of people do the mistake of saying, okay, I have a website, I want more visibility, what should I do? They ask a friend, they tell them, okay, you should buy traffic on Google AdWords, you buy some keywords, and they go there and start right away spending money, and then they are disappointed because the campaign didn't really work, and they spent a lot of money without having any return on investment, and it doesn't work, and it's not the way to go. Before you start spending money or running campaigns, you should, before that, sit down and plan things. So planning means defining who you want to talk to, defining which channels you want to use, what type of budget, what are the objectives, what are the expectations, how are you going to measure things, and what types of adjustments need to be done depending on the outcome of the campaigns. So it's also based on testing and optimizing all the time, because we cannot know things in advance. For example, if you guys want to buy a keyword, you cannot know exactly how much it's going to cost, because it's an open market. People bid on keywords, so some keywords could be really cheap. Well, when I say cheap, it's not that cheap, but we're talking about a couple of cents, like 50 cents, 60 cents a click. And some other keywords are really expensive. For example, the insurance keywords could be $18 a click, $20, $25 a click. So it's really, really expensive. If you guys have an insurance company, I would say don't buy keywords unless you have a very, very big budget. Same for the travel, same for hospitality. It's a little bit difficult to have cheap keywords in those fields because there's a lot of competition. Mainly it goes with the competition. And before you start spending as well, you need to make sure that you cover the basics. So what I mean by that, you need to start by having a very good and optimized website. That's the first thing people will see. That's how people will evaluate you. They will evaluate your products and services based on how good is your website. If your website doesn't look good, if your website has errors, if your website doesn't have a good usability, I would say, which means people are not able to find what they're looking for, they're not able to interact with the website, it can ruin everything else. Then once you have a good website, you need to make sure that your website has a mobile version, so someone who's using their mobile smartphone or tablet, they can see a website adapted to those smaller screens. Then you can start by doing email, paid search, then display ads, look at the data, try to adapt, and then optimizing the website based on those data. Do some social, Facebook, YouTube, search, display. So you keep, it's like a cycle. You keep really testing things, optimizing. Once you measure and you can see that you have some success, you can add on new channels, and that's how you work. You should always follow baby steps. Don't try to do everything at once. You will get overwhelmed very quickly, and some things are pretty technical, so don't hesitate to ask for help. Because even if Google tells you it's easy, just click here and follow the steps to get ready and get going, it's not really true. If you just trust Google to manage your campaigns, they will just take most of your money for nothing. So they will say that you're willing to pay $3 a click, while the keyword is not worth $1 or $1.50. So we'll get back to those when we really dig into the search engine marketing platforms. mainly Google AdWords because it's the top one. So when we say create an acceptable website from an SEO perspective, mainly the website should be good looking. The website should reflect the customer expectations. We're always talking about customer intent. So it's not only about the message that you guys want to send to the field. It's mainly about what people are expecting from you or from your kind of like product and service or competitors. So you always need to think about what would a perfect client like to see or need from me, and that's what we want to give them. Talking about colors, alignment, icons, logos, everything has to be optimal. You need to invest a lot in what we call search engine optimization. This is the science behind ranking higher in search engine results, which means that if you don't have an unlimited budget, and even if you have a pretty decent budget, SEO should be your first preoccupation, because you need to make sure that Google can read your website, can index all the pages, can understand what your website is about, and can also compare you to your competitors. So it means that your website is popular as well. So we can see examples of good-looking websites or bad-looking websites. It's a question of taste, but it's also a question of following the best practices. For example, this website is really bad because we have thousands of colors. We don't really understand what it's about. Too many ads. It's really messy. The font type is really as if someone did it on front page or Word or something like that. So this is really what not to do. If we compare it to Burger King, you'll say that this is a very big corporation, but still, this website is clean. You don't need to really know the brand to understand what it's about. So it's about food. The menu, the main topic, the main navigation menu is really clean, clear. You really understand exactly that you can find food there. You have offers, you have a store locator, and then you have a site search. So you can't get lost. It's also mobile friendly. So that's the new trend today, is really keep things simple. Instead of having too much information, it's really trying to take people from their hand and then try to move them from one step to another so they understand what you guys have in terms of products and services or offering. The mobile experience is really important too. So no matter how good is your website, if it's not optimized for smaller screens or mobile screens, you'll have a lot of frustrated visitors from mobile devices. And as we said in the beginning, the share of mobile users is really increasing every year. I personally spend more time on my tablet. So I was saying mobile experience is really something that you need to consider. You have different options. A couple of years ago, we used to recommend that people build a mobile website that lives along with a desktop version of a website. But today, we don't need to have two separate websites. We can have one single website that adapts to the size of the screen. We call it adaptive design or responsive design. So those new technologies help us actually have a better presence no matter what's the size of the screen. So we can have multiple what we call breakpoints, which means that if the screen is smaller than a certain size, the look and feel of the website will change drastically to allow people to have a better experience on their screen, especially if it's a touch screen. People interact with mobile devices in a different way, different fashion compared to desktops or laptops, because what they're doing is really they are browsing, they're touching their screen. Things have to go fast. They don't really have the time to read long articles or a lot of text. They don't have a lot of time also, even when it comes to videos. Usually we recommend that the videos last 30 seconds or so. So it's really a different way to consume content, and once you understand that, you can also optimize the mobile experience to get the most of it. So this is, for example, a bad mobile experience because the colors are bad. It's really, the links are small. You have to zoom, and this is not the worst experience, by the way, because the worst experience is a website that is built in Flash, so you can't see it at all. The second worst is a website that doesn't adapt to the size of the screen. So every time you need to scroll from right to left, that's something so annoying that you can lose half of your audience, because people don't want to waste time scrolling from right to left and then from top to bottom. Most people are used to scrolling from top to bottom on websites. This is a much better website. So as you can see, it's really adapted. The buttons are really bigger, so if you're on a touch screen, you can click on a button really quickly and easily. The content is adapted, the size up and the font is really well done, so this is a good mobile experience. Email marketing is one of the oldest techniques. We started doing email marketing like 15, 20 years ago, and it's still very efficient. Today the laws have changed. You really need to make sure that your lists for email marketing are people who agree to be contacted. They need to double opt-in, as we say. You have to comply with the laws, and they are pretty the same in most of the countries today. So you really need to make sure that people who are being contacted agreed to be contacted and they accept to receive those emails. Otherwise, you'll be blacklisted. We'll get to those once we dig deeper into email email marketing and direct marketing. But you need to use specific tools for that. So I strongly recommend that you guys avoid using Outlook or Gmail to do email marketing. And you have to do email marketing in a smart way. Usually you do it with your own audience. So if someone tells you, I have a list of 2 million people, do you want to buy it so you can use it? I would personally get away from that, because you can really be tagged as a spammer very fast. So some quick rules and best practices about email marketing. So you need to have a personal approach. So don't treat people as unknown. If you have people's names or identification, please use those. Don't make it overcrowded. Don't use too much details. Okay, I have a request here to come back to the Good and Mobile website. So I'm coming back there. So the question here, I'll share it with the audience, is can you please go back over the good and mobile ones, good and bad, I guess, mobile presences once again. It was kind of fast. What is the best software to build and report mobile analytics? So to build and report mobile analytics depends on what you guys are trying to track. So when I'm saying you have multiple ways to do mobile websites, you can either have a responsive website, or you can build a quick mobile site based, if you have not much content, you can just use your CMS to build a mobile version of it. The goal is really to have something in terms of usability really easy to use on a mobile device. So all the clicks are, all the buttons are pretty big, the text is big, you scroll from up to bottom, so you don't need to scroll from right to left. And when it comes to which analytics are good to measure mobile, I would say free is Google Analytics, but if you have a budget or if you have a paying solution, any of those is good. So if you have Omniture or if you have I don't know, AT Internet, or if you have any of those, the web trends, all of them are able to track mobile websites, and they are also able to track mobile apps as well. It's a different way to track things, but you have all the technical information in any web analytics tool to track mobile apps and mobile websites. So we'll get back to mobile a little bit later as well, and if you guys have any questions, you can, by the way, send me a question in the question list. And even later, if you're thinking about things and have other questions, you can contact me by email. My name is Femi Fenya. I'll show you something. I think it's the best way to keep in touch. So this is me, and if you search for my name, Femi Fenya, you'll find me. I don't think there's another Femi Fenya. I've never found anyone else with the same name. And then you can add me as a contact, and then we'll keep in touch. You can send me emails, messages, or any questions that you might have later after this presentation. So back to mobile, I was saying you need to make the message look a little bit personal. You cannot have a personal message sent to all your lists, especially if you have like 10,000 followers or something like that. But try to automate things to make sure that you capture the people's name, you contact them in a pretty personal way. We talk about list segmentation. So if you know information about your audience, for example, if you know if people are men versus women, you can update your message and have two lists. So you have two slightly different messages, one for guys and one for girls, and the way you type those can be slightly different. Same for many other segmentation rules. So I said the most common one, which is guys versus girls, but it could be the age, could be clients versus prospects, could be partners, could be geolocated, for example, Canadian versus US. So all different factors can be used to create different segments in your lists, and each segment should have their own messages because that's the most efficient way to track things later. When you use email, make sure that you have followed the best practices. So it's not just about text today. Even if some people won't see the images, I would still recommend that you guys use quality images. Usually they are full width, as you can see here, the Dunkin' Donuts. And you need to have clear social sharing buttons, as you see the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube buttons are over there. And clear color codes. You have your logo. You need to have the unsubscribe link. So those rules are pretty clear, and usually if you use an emailing tool like Constant Contact or MailChimp, those rules will be pretty well explained inside that tool. Display advertising is also one of the oldest ways, but it's I have a question here before I go to display advertising, asking me what is the best email software to use. My answer to that is it depends. It depends on the size of your list. For example, I'll go back online. MailChimp.com here is one of the leaders in email marketing. It's pretty user-friendly, it's pretty cheap, and very efficient. It allows you to use email templates and just change the images and the text and you're done. It's really user-friendly, as I said, so you don't need to be a programmer to build high-quality emails. And MailChimp has another advantage, is its pricing. So for up to 2,000 subscribers, you can send 12,000 emails a month for free forever. You don't need to pay anything for that. So this is way more than enough for most of my customers. All of them started with this offer, and then when they grow up and have more subscribers, they can go to a growing business offer, and then plans start at $20 a month. Usually I say, if you have that issue, I would be happy, because it's not an issue. It's if you need to pay for MailChimp, it means that you're growing your audience, it means that you're having more visibility, and it's worth those $20 a month or $30 a month that you will be paying, like, going further. But it's not the only tool. We have many other tools like Constant. This is another very popular tool, ConstantContact.com. It's more for let's say medium to large enterprises, so it's for people who have more traffic, people who need to send hundreds of thousands of emails, and we're not just talking about like 500 emails. So companies who are bigger or larger, they tend to use bigger tools because they used to use those tools. I'm not saying that Constant Contact is better than MailChimp. It's just like most bigger companies use these tools instead of MailChimp, because bigger companies, usually they are afraid of anything that is free. It was one of the issues they had with Google Analytics in the beginning, because it was free, and people used to say, if it's free, it means that it's not good. Google proved that they can be even better than paying solutions. Jonathan is saying that Zen Data is good. Yes, I know it personally, and it's good too. So there are many emailing solutions. The goal here is really to start with the one that fits with your needs. As I said, some of them are free, like MailChimp, and stick to one solution, because once you start optimizing your lists, creating your segments, analyzing your traffic, your solution gets better, your email list gets cleaner, and that's how you get more return on investment mainly. I have another question asking me if they handle display name, email address, user personalization. Yes, so that is done when you actually manage your lists. You can go down to the single subscriber and change their display name. You can change your own display name, where the email is coming from, the reply back email. So everything is really configurable, and it's really user-friendly, so it's really easy to do. Are there any questions about email marketing? Okay, so I'll go to display advertising. So display advertising is also an old technique. It's one of the first ones. It's those banners that you see almost on all websites. We have different technologies, different providers, different types of banners, different sizes, banners who are actually full screens, or banners who hide the content, banners who are on the side, on top of the website, banners who expand, video banners. So the technologies are just unlimited today. Personally, I'm not a big fan of display advertising, but we cannot really do without it, especially during a brand awareness phase, which means that if your goal is really to make sure that people hear about you and know that you guys exist, you kind of need to do some banner advertising. So just need to answer a question here. So Lauren is asking how the participants can get a copy of the presentation. I will put it, I will send it to you guys. I will put it on the shared documents in the conference. If it doesn't work, just send me an email and I'll flip it back to you. So back to display advertising. So mainly those banners have evolved a lot. Today we're really focusing as a business, like the display advertising business. The solutions are focusing on what we call targeting. So their goal is really to have as much information as they can about the target audience, about people who are seeing the banner, to be able to target people by age, by gender, by geolocation, by interest, by many other criteria, just to make sure that there is a fit between the visitor and the content of the banner. So the banners, as I said, they've been very effective in the beginning, but today we have so much traffic online. So the main model in banner advertising or display advertising is you pay per display, which means you pay per 1,000 impressions. That's mainly the term that we use. So every time your banner is seen by 1,000 visitors, you would pay, let's say, 60 cents or $1 or $2, depending on the cost of that banner. So you only pay if people see the ad. But on another side, there are some studies saying that people, they don't pay attention to banners. We call that ad blindness, which means that if you know that there's an ad on the top right corner of the website, you tend to look everywhere else and not to pay attention to that ad unless you interact with it and then it tells you something. That's why people have been creative in the way they use ads and the way they push ads to the audience. For example, video ads are more effective because they start before your own video starts, so you kind of have to see at least part of it before you can skip the ad. The power of ads, I'm really web analytics expert, and I compare a lot different types of traffic coming from display ads versus search engine marketing versus emails or any other type of sources. And I can tell you that most of the traffic that comes from display ads is of poor quality. It's really people who never heard about you. It's really about brand awareness. I'm not saying that these should not be considered, but the goal is not to sell. The goal is to get known. I compare these to the old TV and radio ads. It's just to make sure that people hear about you and know that you guys exist. Banner ads used to be like this. Irrelevant images, big text, a little bit spammy, scammy, I would say. So it's they evolved today. So the quality of the imaging, the quality of the text, it has to look professional, it has to be perfect, otherwise the interaction will be really bad. If you do display advertisement, try to have a real web designer building your banners, because the impression people get on those banners is what will define how they interact with your brand. So as you can see, this is a banner. As you see, Cloud Air is a banner. Let us take you away. So it's very simple with a quick button call to action that we say. The color fits with the website, so everything here is pretty clear, concise. So this is a banner that could work. So if we come back to the strategy framework, the see, do, think strategy. So people can see something. They can see either a banner or a website or a page or something. Then they start thinking about it. So mainly the fact that they saw you or they saw your products and services doesn't mean that they are ready to purchase from you or to do business with you. They need to think about it. They think if they really need it. They also think if you're the best competitor on that field. And once they finish thinking, they start doing. So doing is really interacting. Usually the main goal is a purchase, for example, but it could be downloading a document or subscribing to a website. So any type of conversion is called doing. And as you can see in the slide, on average, only 2% of the people do things. So if you attract 100 visitors, you need to expect that only 2 or 3 people will actually buy or download your document or become a prospect or a client. So once you know that, you'll be better prepared actually to do online marketing. A lot of people say, okay, I paid $1,000, I got 3,000 visitors, but no sales. What's going on? Like, why? Sometimes it's normal. Depends on the targeting, depends on many things, your offer, your pricing, your competition, many different factors. But never forget that most of the people who will come to your website, to your page, are more curious than anything else. They need to come back. You need to convince them to come back, because usually it's on the second, third, or fourth visit that people actually do an action. So that's why we're talking about like almost sometimes less than 2% conversion rate. I have a question here about banners, saying, is a web banner applied through an agency? It's a good question. So depending on if the banner is applied on your website or not, and even in both options, you can either use a web agency or a web consultant to help you with your banner advertising, or just rely on your technology partner, for example Google, because Google actually they have the banner advertising program, and it's like a do-it-yourself program. So you just specify where you want your ads to show up. You just upload your ads. Sometimes you can even build them on the fly within the interface, because Google can read your website and detect the different images and slogans on the website and create banners with those that you just need to approve and upload online. I have another question about the 2% conversion rate. So the question is, so in a sense, what you're saying is a 2% conversion rate is the benchmark that a person should expect in all cases. That is not true. That's an overall average of online conversions, a 2%. I've seen some fields with 20% conversion rates, and I've seen some others with 0.1% conversion rates. So it really depends on what type of activities you guys have, what type of products and services, and the quality of your landing pages mainly, and most of all. The landing page is the page where people actually land once they click on an ad. So if you click on a banner ad, you land on a website, the first page that you see is called the landing page. People actually use specific landing pages for each of their campaigns. I have another question about industry benchmarks on conversion rates or by sector of activities. Yes, there is studies. There are industry benchmarks on conversion rates, entry rates, exit rates, traffic, open rates, bounce rates. So all those have been compared for years. So usually professional marketers should have access to those numbers, and if you're trying to do online marketing for a specific product or service, you should have an idea in advance how much it's going to cost and how much it's going to convert, how much you should expect in terms of conversion rate too. Are there any other questions? So just to get back to the conversion rate, it's not the same conversion rate for all the different verticals. As I said, some of them really have higher numbers and some of them have lower numbers. It depends on the type of service or product that you guys are selling. The other thing is really the quality of your website or landing pages, the efficiency of your communication strategies, because that changes everything. So once you attract traffic, you need to make sure that you have the best website possible to convert visitors. Usually when I have clients that ask for more visibility online or to spend budgets online, I start by doing a full audit of their website just to make sure that we're not sending traffic to a website that leaks. So we're not losing money on online marketing for nothing. We need to make sure that the website is optimal. The website is good looking. The website is well done for conversions. The website has what we call calls to action, not just good quality images and texts. We need to make sure that the website is a sales machine before we start driving traffic to that website. So in this case, L'Oreal is well, obviously a good-looking website. It has to. But other good examples exist depending on your depending on your products and services. I can show you better examples if you guys want. The main goal is really to make sure that your value proposition is really clear on the fold. The fold is the visible part of the website the first time you see it. So in this case, the fold is really that logo, the main navigation menu, that big image, and the slogan on the site. So this is what we call the fold. Do we understand exactly what it's about? In this case, yes. In some other cases, not exactly. Keep in mind that most people will give you 3 to 5 seconds to convince them to stay on your website. Otherwise, they would just close the page and leave. They move forward. So within those 3 to 5 seconds, you need to convince people that they landed on the right website and they will find what they're looking for. So those first impressions are really important. That's why the design and the fold, so the visible part of the page, are really important. You need to make sure that you convince people right away. Otherwise, you will have what we call a bounce, which is a visit only one page. So search and display strategy. Mainly this strategy it takes you through the see, do, think model. Search and display is really applied to build awareness, as I said in the beginning. So people who are searching should find you. People who are just browsing online should also find you. But the relevance is really important. For example, if you're trying to sell, let's say, I don't know, travel retreats or eco-touristic trips, for example, to Costa Rica, you need to understand where you want to display your ads. So if you're trying to sell to an audience that is into ecotourism, I don't think that, for example, a website like NHL.com would be a right fit for you. So your audience needs to be a good fit. A better fit would be, for example, the Weather Channel. So people who are looking for weather conditions in Costa Rica should see your ad, because there's a chance that they might be interested in purchasing from you. Other than that, if you display your travel ad on food recipes websites, for example, there's no fit, so you're just wasting money. So that's why I said in the beginning, the fit and the relevance are really important when you do display marketing and even search marketing. And there are different ways to make sure that your ads are only displayed on pages who are actually related to your products and services without being necessarily a competitor, for example. Here we're talking about integrating multi-channels. Multi-channels is the fact that you don't rely on a specific silo to contact people. People actually get exposed to your brand, for example, by search engine marketing, but then they can have a social media exposition or have a mobile exposition or other online, offline platforms. They can talk to someone over the phone. They can show up in store, so you can have mechanisms to what we call like drive to store, to drive people to your store. So those multiple touch points, that's what we call multi-channel integrated marketing. Because today we are sure that you cannot only rely on one tactic. You need to use everything that's available to you to make sure that you have a consistent message. You have a consistent promotion no matter what the platform that you're using. And your goal is really to satisfy your customers and attract them. So you need to make sure that if they see something online and call you over the phone, you're able to answer their questions and validate that information, for example, that they saw. If it's like a 20% off or 50% off, it has to be clear and true. Loyalty marketing is for current customers. We're talking about customer retention or avoiding churn. So loyalty marketing goes through different tactics. The main one is really email marketing and email marketing automation. But it goes also through loyalty programs, coupons, rebates, referrals. So the goal here is really to keep your clients happy and keep doing business with them and trying to use them to refer more people and attract more sales opportunities. So that's what we call loyalty marketing. So I've introduced the concept of integrated marketing campaign. It's really the fact of leveraging different channels and different tactics and activities to work towards the same goal. We're not trying to do just search engine marketing or Facebook ads. We're trying to talk to a certain audience. We'll use all the available channels to reach out to that audience, and then we'll optimize our messaging to convince that audience to become our clients or partners, whatever the goal is. So we have traditional marketing, promotions, and web and social media marketing that work all together hand in hand. When I'll send you the presentation, you can click on that link to watch the video. And what it says mainly, it's really about, instead of having a traditional marketing team or person working alone and another team working on online marketing, all the resources that are working on marketing and promotions should work together and build campaigns that are online and offline at the same time, and consider that a visitor is the same whether they come to the store or to the website. So trying to identify people across platforms is one of the main challenges of integrated marketing. Here's an example, for example. Oh, actually, I think we might have time for a video.
The brief was to raise brand awareness and deliver test drive leads for the Nexus IS range. The campaign focus was on the introduction of two new models, the IS250C convertible and the ISF performance sedan. The brief required the inclusion of a halo interest in the third model, the standard IS sedan. Lexus set specific campaign targets, which included increased traffic to Lexus.co.za from 10,500 per month to 16,000 per month for the duration of the campaign. Rich media engagement time of 25 seconds. Overall lead generation target, 1,408 test drive requests. While the above-the-line creative and messaging relied heavily on emotional tactics, the digital campaign had to be far more direct and focus on delivering beautiful visuals and high-level facts in a captivating way. Showcasing three very different vehicles within the same environment was a challenge. The solution was a consistent prism effect that was applied whenever the user switched between the different IS models, showing users the two sides of Lexus that they had likely never seen, convertible and a performance sedan. Flash banners featured beautiful visuals and high-level facts, while rich media banners made use of the prism effect to illustrate the two new sides of the Lexus IS range. Every rich media banner expanded to a nano site, allowing users to switch between models and explore snippets of content, video, images, and sound. The banners drove traffic to the campaign site and heavily pushed test drive influence. The campaign site mirrored the prism effect. The user could flip through the various models and discover detailed info about them. The ever-present call to book a test drive tempted the user to take the experience into real life. Various videos of the IS range vehicles were available for viewing via all our digital channels. However, rather than just make do with supplied material, we planned, filmed, edited, and distributed a making-of video based on the ISF TV commercial. The video attracted a phenomenal number of online views, which resulted in the video being showcased in the media. Email is linked on emotive imagery and messaging, and was sent to both existing Lexus database subscribers as well as various niche opt-in databases. The recipients were able to book their test drives and contribute back or visit the campaign site for more information. The campaign made use of social media, by embedding a trimmed-down version of the campaign site inside of the Lexus Facebook account. Fans got a taste of the entire campaign before clicking through to the official campaign site or Lexus YouTube page for more. Traffic to Lexus.co.za doubled for the duration of the campaign, which media achieved an average engagement time of 78 seconds, some as long as 200 seconds, and 1,420 leads were generated. As the numbers show, the IS campaign was an incredible success. The results delivered were way above the client's lofty expectations, making this their most successful digital campaign to date.
So, I don't know if the video was clear enough. The goal of the video is really introducing what we call integrated marketing campaigns. This Lexus example, mainly what the video was talking about is that they launched an integrated marketing campaign, which means that they launched the campaign on national TV, radios, email marketing, social media, and display banners. And all of those had the same type of messages, the same type of interaction. I remember watching one of those ads on TV, and then within the TV ad there was a call to action to get more information online. If I click on the link actually to see the making of the video, more information about the different car models. Same thing in emails, same thing on display ads. As you can see, they expand and then you have different characteristics of the cars. And same thing on social networks where they shared the same videos, interacted with people, attracted more visibility, more engagement. So that's what we call integrated marketing. It's not just for big companies like Lexus. I have multiple smaller clients who are using the same approach with a very smaller budget, but still having an approach where you put together the offline and online teams, where you just promote a product to your audience no matter which channels you follow. That's the new trend in marketing, and especially in online marketing. So rather than just creating a presence, brands must be a presence. So that's the conclusion of the Lexus video. So instead of creating something new, you are the presence, so you need to communicate through all channels and make sure that the message is consistent and that no matter where people came from, they could just follow a couple links or keep digging through the information to have what they've been looking for. And the main goal of this campaign was to have more test drivers, and they achieved that goal by leveraging the multiple channels that they used. I'll just skip these couple of ads because they keep talking about the Lexus campaign. The main thing here is really forget about the channel, focus on the user intent and the message that you want them to understand. And then once you have that message, you can update it and adapt it to the different channels, because you cannot have the same size of message on a mobile device versus a TV, for example. But still, as long as your approach is consistent, it's the goal. Visual impact is really important too, so you need to make sure that your creative assets are really well done and well designed, because those are the ones that give the first impressions on your landing pages and your banners. The evaluation is also important, so making sure that you are going the right way, because you cannot really know that in advance, is something important, because you need to keep tracking and optimizing. That's the way people do things online. So you need to measure, optimize. Usually some people almost do a test run, I would say. So just a small sample of their audience. They would test different versions of their ads and messages and identify the top converting one, which is rolled over then to the whole audience. Let's say you have 10,000 people following you, or you have a 10,000 people email database, you would send to the first 1,000 people and different versions of the ads and see how they interact with those different versions, just to identify the best converting ad. And once you identify that, you can send that ad to the 9,000 remaining contacts.